This week on ICN, the stories you should have heard but didn't. If the bailout oversight chairman doesn't know where the money goes, then who does? Father knows best? No. Mother knows best? No. How about judge knows best? The Fed claims victory in war on terror by taking down senior citizen terrorists in Vegas. Help a lender commit fraud and get early retirement from the government. Those stories and more next on Informed Citizen News. Hello and welcome to ICN, Informed Citizen News, March 15th, 2009. It was clear that most Americans did not want the $800 billion bailout for the banks, but Congress voted for it anyway. In an interview this week, Elizabeth Warren, chair of the Bailout Oversight Panel for Congress, said that she has no idea where the money given to AIG has gone. Most analysts believe that the bailout of AIG was another method to give money to Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, and other Wall Street firms. As fast as the money went into AIG, it poured out the other end. Sounds like a case of financial diarrhea. Ms. Warren also said maybe some of the money is going to other financial institutions. Maybe some of the money is going to pay off these credit default swaps that are essential for saving other institutions that have counted on it for credit and insurance. And maybe some of where this money is going is just off to speculators who just played the game of speculation and would now like to collect 100 cents on the dollar for their speculations and collect it indirectly from the American taxpayer. This from the person in charge of oversight. She has no idea where the money is going. The Federal Reserve, which has been at the center of the latest AIG bailout, has declined to reveal information about the maneuver, including the identities of AIG's counterparties, saying that doing so could affect confidence in the institutions at issue. The White House and the Fed just want us to trust them with our money. And why not? It's worked so well this far. This week, a North Carolina judge overruled a homeschooling mom and ordered her kids to attend public school. Vanessa Mills filed for divorce from her husband in October on grounds of adultery. Their 3 children, ages 10, 11, and 12, had been homeschooled over the past 4 years. While in public school, the children were average students. Having been homeschooled, the children are now testing 2 grades ahead of their age. The husband is not supportive of the mother homeschooling the children, and the judge said he made the determination on his guiding principle, what's in the best interest of the minor children, and conceded he was putting his judgment in place of the mother's. He went on to explain that his goal in ordering the children to register and attend a public school was to make sure they have a more well-rounded education and to challenge the ideas the kids have been taught. Let's see. Sending kids to a centrally controlled state institution with low standards, teen sex, drugs, and violence provides for a more well-rounded education. This is an interesting judicial perspective. Ms. Mills belongs to a church that advocates homeschooling. In this case, and many others around the country, the state is stepping in as the all-knowing parent and dictating how children should be raised. The judge clearly overstepped his authority in this case as the children participate in sports clubs and are well socialized, while at the same time benefiting from their homeschool education. Children belong to the parents, not the state. And we are certain that the judge is getting numerous letters from people requesting him not to be daddy to all his cases. 4 men labeled as anti-government were arrested in Las Vegas last week. The 4 are accused of money laundering, tax evasion, and possession of an unregistered machine gun. This was the result of a 3-year investigation performed by the FBI-led Nevada Joint Terrorism Task Force that included the ATF, Henderson Police Department, IRS Criminal Investigation, Metro Police, the Nevada Department of Public Safety, and the North Las Vegas Police Department, in addition to other federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies in Nevada, Council, Idaho, and Flagstaff and Seligman, Arizona. Wow, that's quite an army of government law enforcement agencies. What did these men do? Steal billions of dollars like Madoff or Stanford Financial? Maybe it was just tens of millions of dollars. Or was the Joint Terrorism Task Force investigating this group of men whose average age was 58 years old, on the worry that they might blow something up. Nope, none of the above. Their indictment accused them of laundering $1.3 million for undercover FBI agents and possessing one automatic rifle, plus not reporting about $300,000 of spousal income to the IRS. Something really stinks here. A 3-year investigation by at least 11 federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies charged these 4 men, almost senior citizens, with laundering $1.3 million for the FBI agents and having one automatic rifle. The Joint Terrorism Task Force must have spent millions of taxpayer dollars on this investigation. This was obviously a tax season message by the government. Unsealed search warrant affidavits allege that the 4 men are heavily involved in the Sovereign Movement, which the government claims is an extreme anti-government organization whose members attempt to disrupt and overthrow the government and other forms of authority by using paper terrorist tactics, whatever that means, intimidation, harassment, and violence. None of which activities were in the indictment of the 4 men. There are some unanswered questions here that should have been asked by the media. Why did at least 11 government agencies spend 3 years and probably millions of taxpayer dollars investigating a $1 million crime? According to the indictment, 2 of the men laundered money specifically for the FBI agents. Did they launder money for anyone else? Or were they laundering money just for the FBI at their request? Did the reporter get fed this story by any of the government agencies? Or was it good journalism monitoring court filings? Doesn't the Joint Terrorism Task Force have better things to do, like go after real terrorists? Congressional Bill H.R. 875 looks to bring organic farming and backyard gardens under government control. Introduced by Congressman Rosa DeLauro of Connecticut, whose husband works for Monsanto, is the latest attack on ranchers and farmers. H.R. 875 would essentially transfer all state control over food regulation to the Food Safety Administration, also known as the FSA, a newly established federal bureaucracy to be created within the Department of Health and Human Services. It's important to keep in mind that Rep. DeLauro's husband, Stanley Greenberg, works for biotechnology giant Monsanto, the multinational corporation responsible for the creation of recombinant bovine growth hormone, RBGH, in cows, the perpetuation of Roundup-ready genetically modified sugar and soy products hidden in conventional foods, and the predatory lawsuits against farmers whose fields were contaminated by Monsanto's patented seeds. Given who her husband works for, do you think the bill was written for you or Monsanto? Does anyone think the government can run health care? Well, take a look at the Veterans Administration. This week, it was reported that 16,000 unopened claims were hidden by the VA. Auditors also found that the dates recorded for receiving claims, which determine the effective date for benefit payments, are wrong in many cases because of intentional and unintentional errors. The Undersecretary for Benefits said at a congressional hearing on Tuesday, "Veterans have lost trust in the VA. That loss of trust is understandable, and winning back that trust will not be easy. How about making Congress get their health care at VA hospitals? Then you would probably see veterans get the care they deserve." Finally, Daryl Dochow, the West Coast Regional Director at the Office of Thrift Supervision, who investigators say allowed IndyMac to backdate its deposits to hide its ill health, quit last Friday. He was allowed to quietly quit and retire from his job as a government regulator, despite allegations that he allowed a bank to falsify financial records. Now investigators say IndyMac wasn't the only institution to get such cozy assistance from the official who should have been the cop on the beat. In at least one instance, investigators say banking regulators actually approached the bank with the suggestion of falsifying deposit dates to satisfy banking rules, even if it disguised the bank's health to the public. Even right now, there's a lot the public does not know about this financial crisis. representatives of the government are actually trying to loosen reporting requirements, like ending mark-to-market so that the bank stocks go up. Until Americans understand how we became so dependent on banks because of the Federal Reserve System, true prosperity will not return. We need many more informed citizens out there, so send our link to your friends and family. The press is supposed to hold the powerful accountable. We'll keep an eye on them. You keep an eye on us. Thanks for watching. From all of us at Informed Citizen News, see you next week.